This is going to be the beginning of my Bratz Readathon and September reading vlogs. Today, I would like to begin reading Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare because it's quite a thick one. So if I start it now, maybe I could finish it this weekend. I'm not exactly sure. Most likely I won't finish Lady Midnight, but that's okay. I may also read some of the children's books that I had on my TBR for the readathon. I'm just going to get to reading and update you with my thoughts. So I'm roughly 50 pages in to Lady Midnight, and I'm already living for all of the references to the other shadow hunters like Jace and Clary and the war that happened with Sebastian. So far, I'm enjoying it. I'm not really connected to Emma yet, and we haven't even met Julian, so I think it's just that as the story goes, I'll get more and more invested, just like always. You know, it's so far I'm not getting the angst that I get when I read City of Bones or that entire series. When I reread it, I feel so much angst. I feel like a 15-year-old girl, and I love it. So I'm hoping that more of that comes about. I mean, definitely there is angst going on. There's definitely typical teenage complaining, you know. I think it's gonna get really just angst heavy coming up, and I'm very excited for it. I'm going to keep reading, keep at it, and update you as I find interesting things to discuss. It's been many hours since I last updated. I have read about 100 pages of Lady Midnight so far. Definitely not as much as I thought I was going to read today, but I was just kind of having fun with my family since everybody's home for the weekend, which is definitely okay. I will just read more tomorrow. I would definitely say that I'm much more involved in the story already than I was before. Since I've met everybody and the story is starting to pick up a little bit, I'm getting very interested. I want to know who killed Emma's parents. I want to know what's going on with the fairies. I want to start getting into it. It's almost midnight, so I'll probably only read just a little bit more and I won't film another update, but I just wanted to let you know how far I'd gotten and that I will be continuing this vlog tomorrow. I've finished about a third of Lady Midnight. Kind of hate Diana, and Mark is really pissing me off. I'm like, let's get over it, honey. Let's get past it. Quit complaining. As he like literally was captured by fairies and has been like tortured. I feel like we're just talking about this over and over again. Like, yes, this is your family. These are your siblings. This is where you used to live. Like, get over it. I definitely have more of an attachment towards Julian, which I thought was funny. I thought that I would attach more to Emma Carstairs, but right now I kind of have more of an attachment to Julian. I prefer him over Emma, at least right now. I don't know if it's like his loyalty to his family or just that he's a sad boy. Like, I'm not exactly sure why I have more of an attachment towards him, but I just kind of do. Emma's nice. I don't dislike her. I would definitely say that I was more attached to Clary. I think it's that I'm just not really clicking with her as a character and as a person. I'm glad that we had to accidentally or unfortunately get Diana part of this scheme to figure out who is the murderer. I'm kind of glad that we had to make her cooperate. I was just kind of done with her, to be honest. Now that she has to be part of the plan, I'm like, oh, thank God. So we can actually get somewhere and figure out why this is going on and who's doing all of this. I also really enjoyed that Magnus showed up in Los Angeles and that he talked about Alec and everybody back in New York. Cute little get together, cute little life update. I loved it. I hope we get to see more of Magnus, and I hope we get to see all of the New York Institute shadow hunters. I'm really hoping that they all have to get involved somehow. I'm honestly not surprised that some of the characters are kind of irritating me, because as I remember when I first read City of Bones, there were certain characters that I was just like, really? Like, I'm not gonna lie, in the first few books, I kind of disliked Alec quite a bit. He was very irritating to me, so I feel like Mark is the Alec for me right now. I'm just kind of irritated by him. I mean, I get why he is the way that he is, but I'm like, can you get with the program? Like, we're trying to get something done here. I think as the book progresses, I'll get to understand him more, and then maybe I'll end up really liking him. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to work out, then I'm going to keep reading and update you later. It is about 11 o'clock at night, and I'm roughly halfway done with Lady Midnight. I'm super into it. I don't want to say I think I know what's going on, but low-key, I think I know what's going on. Mark is much more interesting now that he's not being a little bitch. I am really interested to know more about his time with the Wild Hunt. I'm kind of getting annoyed that we're being withheld that information. I get why he can't talk about it, but I'm just like, can we talk about it? Also, I'm very over the whole Julian and Emma. We all know they're gonna end up together. Can we just cut to the chase, honey? Also, I love how Diana is just gone. Like, she's just been gone. She's like, yeah, I have some shit to do, kids. Be right back. And she's just kind of been absent. But I'm like, what is you up to, sis? I don't like Diana. I don't know what it is about her. I don't know if it's my issue with authority figures, but I'm not having her bullshit. She's part of this somehow. I know she is. I can feel it. I feel the sus activity coming off of Diana. That is all I'm going to be reading of Lady Midnight tonight. It is Sunday night. Tomorrow is Monday. It is a holiday here in America. It is Labor Day. I do have university work that I will be completing, but I will definitely be able to read later on in the night. Tomorrow, I'm not sure if I will pick up Lady Midnight or if I will pick up one of the children's books, because I see the Bratz Readathon on Instagram that everybody is finishing books, and I'm still sitting here reading Lady Midnight, and I'm like, I see all these people like way over here finishing books, and I'm still halfway done. I know that I really shouldn't care and I shouldn't be pressured by how quickly other people are reading, but I might pick up one of the children's books that I have. That way I feel like I've accomplished a little bit of something. I'm not just sitting here with like a giant TBR in front of me for the rest of the month. I just wanted to give that quick little update. I'm really enjoying the story. I'm enjoying pretty much every character. Some of the younger Blackthorns are obviously not as significant as the older ones, but I still like that they're included. I like that The Blackthorns are an actual family. I like that we see them. I like that they interact together, although they don't have parental figures. Like, of course, nobody would. This is a YA urban fantasy. Nobody has parents. Okay. But I do like that they have a familial aspect and that Julian is kind of like a pseudo dad. They fight, they bicker, they love. Family. I'm living for it. I will continue to update you guys on how I'm feeling. I'm gonna try not to give a bunch of spoilers. I don't think I've given any. I'm gonna try to make sure I don't. But that is going to be it from me tonight. I have finished my university work for today. I actually have less than I thought I would this week. That means more reading, am I right? I decided that today I'm going to read one of the children's books that I had picked for myself for my September TBR, specifically the one that follows one of the prompts for Team Jade, which is to have green on the cover of it. Since this one's a children's book, I figured I would choose it today so that I can just really quickly read the book and scratch something off of my TBR. The book that I'm going to be reading is Planting Stories by Anika Aldemoy Denise. It is a children's illustrated biography, so it's essentially like a picture book. I literally just flipped the title page and I'm already in love with this book. It's so beautiful. Look at how beautiful this is. I'm assuming that this is Puerto Rico. I'm not sure. I'm so excited for this freaking story. I'm gonna get to reading this. I'm sure it's not gonna take me that long. I will let you know what I thought about it once I'm finished. I have very high hopes for this already just after seeing the first page, literally. I just finished reading Planting Stories. It genuinely took me about 10 minutes to read, but it was so good. I highly recommend everybody to read this story. I'm just so glad that I read this story. I had no idea who Poor Belpre was before I read this. I was never taught anything about her, and I wish I had been. I am honestly in love with her. Like, she's a queen, she's a real one. And the author says, when Poor discovered there weren't any actual Spanish books in the library, she wrote them herself. They became the first mainstream Latinx storybooks published in America. Like, why was I never taught that? I just feel like this is just such an important book. If you're even slightly interested in it, please go read it. It's so cute. It's honestly so pretty. It's very easy to read. It's a nice, happy story if you're wanting something that's just really positive, really quick to read. Compliments to the damn chef. I loved this book. Since I finished that book so fast because it was a children's book, I think the next book that I'm going to start is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, because I've still only finished half of Lady Midnight, and it's quite a thick book, but since I own it, I don't really have to worry about finishing it super fast and getting it back to my library. So I think I'm gonna pick up Ninth House and start that. I'm very interested to see what I think about Ninth House. I don't want to say I don't have that high of expectations. I'm just like, you know, I don't really know much about it. So I think I'm just going to hang out with the family since today is a holiday. Then I'm going to start reading Ninth House later in the evening. I will get back to you once I have started Ninth House and I've got to a point where I'm starting to create feelings towards the story and the characters, and let you know what I think about it.
This is your invitation to dine at some of Britain's grandest tables in some of the most beautiful houses in Europe. I love that color. Doesn't really matter. Add seasoning and fresh bay leaves.
I will the colours, the reds, the blues and the gold.
Well, it is absolutely spectacular. Wow. There it is. I know it's a replica, but isn't it magnificent?
It's an extraordinary replica scale.
It's almost midnight and I'm going to call it quits for tonight. I read about 60 pages of Ninth House. It's actually giant. I didn't realize that it was like almost 600 pages, so I'm kind of like, To be honest, I'm not really enjoying it so far. I thought that I would, but I'm just kind of not having it. I'm not exactly sure why. I'm just not super into it. So if by tomorrow I'm still not really loving it, I'll honestly probably DNF it. I'm not somebody who likes to make myself read books that I'm not enjoying anymore. I used to do that quite a bit, and now I don't have time for that shit, okay? If I don't like it, I don't like it. And right now, it's just like kind of okay. It's just a little bit weird and not in a fun way. I feel like, let me take my glasses off. I'm about to go to sleep anyways. I feel like it's just kind of being weird for the sake of being weird, if that makes sense. Like, it just wants to be different than other girls, like, you know? I'm just not really into it. I'm honestly just not enjoying it. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do. I'm kind of conflicted. I think I'm just going to call it quits for tonight and see how I feel tomorrow after I've done my university work. Like I said, if I'm not really loving it by page like 100, I'm honestly gonna quit. Oh my god, that's literally like not that many pages on the grand scheme of that story. But I'm just not really into the plot. I think it's just kind of a wee bit strange. And again, not in a fun way and not really in a way that is making a lot of sense. We've been given information as to why it should make sense, but it just still doesn't make sense. I'm still just like, what? It's not adding up, sis. I'm just kind of not having it. Like, I don't know. I just like instantly was just like, I don't like it. So if I don't like it by page 100 tomorrow, I'm going to pick up a different book. But see, this is why you try out trends, because you don't know if you're gonna like them until you try them. So I thought that I would like this book. It sounded like a book that I would really enjoy. And I'm just kind of like, really? Like, this is what we're going with? This is what we're doing? This may be one of the worst things Leigh Bardugo has ever written. I don't want to be that shady, but I think I'm gonna be that shady. Like, this is garbage, honey. Okay, maybe like not that intense, but it's just not that great. Like, I'm just gonna be frank at this point. It's almost midnight. I'm kind of pissed I even wasted this much time like reading this portion of this book. I guess I won't call it quits yet. Maybe all of a sudden I will start to enjoy it, but like, not likely. Anyways, that is going to be it for my updates as of right now. I will create some more educated thoughts upon this tomorrow. So it has been quite a minute since I last updated the vlog. Basically, I DNF'd Ninth House. I really couldn't do it. I was scared it was gonna send me into a reading slump. That's not really the best idea or the best vibe, considering I basically just started this readathon. I just thought it would be kind of stupid to read a book that I thought was going to put me in a reading slump, or that I just really didn't enjoy. I wasn't having a good time, so I quit. If I don't enjoy it, I just don't enjoy it. I'm not gonna waste my time. There was honestly a lot of problems that were at the root of the story that I just couldn't really get past. And I was like, this isn't gonna change, this isn't gonna get better. So I either have to just accept it and keep reading and not really fully enjoy it, or quit and pick up a book that I might actually enjoy that still fulfills the prompt, passion for fashion for Team Jade. So that's what I'm gonna do. It actually ended up working really well, because the book that I originally wanted to read for the prompt was City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, but at the time there was a really long wait list for the e-copy at my library, and I was like, damn, I'm not gonna be able to read this. Even though it's such a trendy book right now, it perfectly fit the prompt. But all of a sudden I got this update because I had placed a hold for the future, so it would have been past September, and then I went on my library app and I saw it sitting there and it said it was ready for me just as I was about to manage my loan and give back Ninth House to my library, and I was like, this is a sign. So that is what I'm going to be reading instead. I know I'm going to like it. I've heard nothing but good things about it, so I'm really excited for that. That is going to be the switch that I'm making for my TBR. So I just wanted to give that quick little update. That is all that I'm going to record for this week's reading vlog. I'm probably going to make another one of these next week, and I'll probably talk about my thoughts on City of Brass. I think I'm going to talk about my thoughts on Ninth House, but I wanted to put this at the very end of the video in case people didn't want to hear anybody's thoughts on the book. So if you're interested to see what I had to say about it and why I decided not to finish it, keep watching. If not, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. I decided to come upstairs because my sister is using my room to work out. That's where we keep our cycle bike. That way I could have nice and quiet space to film my thoughts. Let me get comfortable. I went into this book with an open mind. I've read Leigh Bardugo's work before. I enjoyed the Grisha trilogy. So when I found out that she was going to be writing a novel of this manner, I thought it would be a really fun time. Let's just first start off with, I did not dislike the idea of, I did not dislike the overall vibes. I did not dislike the idea of a secret society in Yale. Point blank period. I didn't dislike that. I thought that that was a really great idea. I love the atmosphere. I thought it was something that would be really fun to read. You know, nice fall and winter vibes. We love collegiate vibes. We love it. We love a bit of a mystery, like iconic. I honestly started disliking the book from the first few pages. I was just like, this isn't that fun. I don't know. It was just, I didn't like the main character. She was just very granola, and like, not in a yummy way. She was just really bland. I didn't really connect with her. I didn't care. I really didn't care about her. She was a very hard character to like, to connect with. She was just kind of shitty. Like, I was just not interested in her life. From the beginning of the book, we are led to understand that she kind of has had a lot of trauma in her life. It goes farther into the trauma later on in the story, I guess. It didn't even really get to that. So you're like supposed to empathize with her. You're supposed to feel bad for her. But I just didn't. Like, she didn't mold this character to be somebody to care about. I don't know if that was purposefully done. Obviously, I didn't finish the book, so I'm never gonna find out. My phone just died, so I'm not exactly sure if this is where I was. But anyways, back to the discussion. The only character that was kind of catching my attention was never really present in the story, and he literally wasn't physically present at Yale. For some reason, I think he was missing too. I don't even know. I don't know. I also just had a major problem with the entire premise of the book. Not really like the hidden society doing weird shit. It was the shit that they were doing and the reason behind the shit that they were doing. It just like wasn't good. It wasn't like, they were literally sacrificing people. Just gonna put it out there. Yeah. I am back in my bedroom since my sister finished working out, and so did my dad, who ended up coming to my sister's bedroom, and so then I had to quit and wait for them to finish. Back to what I was saying. I just had a really big issue with the reasoning behind the magic that was being used, and I also just really didn't enjoy that it wasn't really magic and it wasn't getting explained very well. There was moments of info dump, but it didn't really make sense, and there was not a lot of reasoning behind any of the information that you were getting. It was just kind of like, this is how it is, this is what goes down. And I also really disliked the magic that was being used. It just wasn't my thing. I didn't really like that it was being used not for a justifiable purpose. Like, I don't know when you can justify sacrificing humans, but like, I think you know what I'm talking about. At one point, I'm pretty sure they mentioned some shit about the stock market. Really? It just was kind of gross. It was basically like they were doing all of this just to help some old rich men, and it was just really dumb to me. I didn't appreciate that. I thought that it was kind of a piss poor excuse for such a dark form of magic. Like, that's really what we're doing this for, money. I just got really grossed out by it. I was like, this is already gross, and then you're gonna make it for a gross reason. That's a double negative. I just really couldn't handle everything that was going on, to be honest. I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to read this. The main character was really bland and boring. The magic system wasn't even magic. It was just weirdness, grossness, and it was for a bad reason. It wasn't even for a good reason. We just weren't really getting to the point of the story. The pacing was also just very odd for this book. I didn't really like it. I don't have a problem with big books. Lady Midnight, as I'm looking at it, I showed earlier in this vlog, it's a thick book, you know? It's like 670 pages, I think. That's not a small book. You know, I read half of it in like a day. If it's interesting enough and it keeps my attention and I enjoy the characters and I enjoy the plot and the magic system of a story, I will keep reading. Because this book genuinely could have been like a 170 to 200 page book was just kind of ridiculous. So that's the tea from me on Ninth House. I will not be finishing it and I will not be picking it back up. I'm going to be picking up City of Brass, like I've mentioned a million times, but I'm actually genuinely excited for that book. I've seen a lot of good things about it, nothing but good things. I'm very excited for that story. That is going to be it for me for this vlog. I'm kind of a strange ending, but I think it's okay. It's all for the greater good. I wanted to read City of Brass for this prompt anyways, so it kind of all worked out in my favor. Then I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in my next video. Bye.